Welcome to the Productivity Podcast. Today, I am delighted to be joined by a special guest and a good friend, Peter Kuhlang, the CEO of the MTM Association. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. Thank you for joining us. And for the listeners, that's not a UK accent. So where are you based today when we're at the time we're recording?
I was born and raised in Austria, but now I'm living in Hamburg in Germany.
Lovely part of the world. So Peter, before we get into all things MTM, do you want to just give us a brief intro about yourself and your role there?
Yes, I'll do. As you said, my name is Peter Kuhlang. I'm Austrian, but I'm leading MTM globally. So I'm headquarters here is in Germany, in Hamburg. I'm an industrial engineer from the Vienna University of Technology, and I was always working with MTM in the field of designing work systems, work measurement, value stream mapping. All that stuff was topics that I did for many years, and then I got the chance to work for the MTM Association because that's what I wanted to do. And since 2021, I'm responsible for MTM organization in Germany on the one side, which is the MTM Association, which is a non-profit organization, but also the MTM Solutions, which is the commercial part. But we are also leading together with you in the One MTM network. We are working to disseminate MTM globally. That's about me, and I love what I do. It's my passion to work for MTM and spread out the methodology.
Good. So let's get into the detail then. We've done a few previous podcasts with some of the team from the UK MTM Association about the various bits, but do you want to give us kind of your view of the MTM Association, what it is? Probably start with what MTM means, maybe for those that haven't heard of it before.
Yeah, MTM is the abbreviation for Methods Time Measurement. It's the most well-known predetermined motion time system. It was developed in 1948 and published there as well. And at the end, it's the success from MTM comes mainly from the structure that we were able to set up over 80 years now globally. So we have partners globally, this being the contact person or being the contact organization for the companies, for our customers in several regions, countries of the world. And that is one of the key factors. And we are following and we're trying to continue with this successful structure. The network now is called the One MTM Network. And the network is officially led by the MTM Association. The MTM Association is, let's say, formally holding the rights of the MTM systems, also the trademarks. And since we are a non-profit organization, our main task is to develop the methodology further, to train the methodology, and to sustain the network and be the contact organization for our interested customers around the world. Just one thing about the MTM methodology, it's a kind of language, process language. You are describing operations, processes, and you get automatically a time is assigned to these time elements, to these process elements, and by describing a process or by simulating a process, you are setting labor standards. So you get the time more or less outcome and a free outcome, but the target is to understand the work, to see the work, to understand the work system, to improve the work system, and you get the fundamental assessment base for that. That is what the MTM Association is doing. And the thing that in the group that the big advantage for our customers is that you can get all the things to understand and to apply MTM. You can get it from one hand. We all together in the One MTM network. We do the training. We develop a software where you can save or work with these MTM application. We do consulting work as the colleagues in Rethink do. We do research, and we are a contact person, a single source contact person globally.
Perfect. So I think, a couple of bits to take away from that. So you're the mothership, so you uphold the MTM standards, make sure we're all delivering the training in the right manner to the right standard, which is good, and then gives us that global partnership of all the other organizations across the world. And I have to say, the amazes me actually how well all the partners work together. It's very much a supportive network rather than a competitive network, which is amazing to see.
Which is the fundamental idea, because we are when it comes to disseminating MTM, to be there for the customers, it's not competitive. It's to be on the same standards regarding training material, to be on the same training structure, to be more or less on the same principles behind MTM, how we use it, how you train it, how you can apply it, how you can really improve work systems. And that's why we are not competitive. For example, if it comes to consulting or if it comes to sell software that's clear, then we will be competitors. But the methodology behind that is the big advantage, is our common understanding.
Now, there's a number of methodologies within MTM. Some people will understand that because they've been through it, but without going into all the detail, because that's available on the UK MTM website, on the MTMDE website, on the Rethink website. Do you want to give us a kind of whistle-stop, a quick tour of the building blocks that people might choose to develop further in their MTM training?
Of course, I can do. The main criteria to select the right building block system, what we call it, is the level of organization. We call it organization level or method level, and it describes how well organized or how repetitive a work system is, or how the repetitiveness is. So, for example, if you have a mass production system, then you will use a more precise MTM system, for example, MTM1 or MTM HWD, which is a connection of MTM1 mainly with ergonomic assessment. Or if you have a work system where you are building more or less one-of-a-kind products, like a shipyard, for example, you would use MTM MAK, which is a methodology for single jobs that you are analyzing. But the most well-known system globally is MTM UAS, which is the abbreviation for Universal Analyzing System. It's a typical serial production system that was developed at the end of the 1970s, and is the common system in automotive industry, in white good industry, in logistics, and these are the main systems. And since, let's say, 15 years, also the ergonomic topic is coming pretty much into our methodologies, and we are using an ergonomic assessment tool, which is also available globally, and the typical ergonomic system to assess work is the AWS ergonomic assessment worksheet. That's a
different methodologies for the right processes that you're observing in the right level of detail you want to get to then.
Yeah, and that's also a typical job of our organization, is if we get in contact with people who are interested in work measurement, labor setting, labor standards, the first thing is we have to determine which system we are going to use for the application in the companies.
Perfect. And in terms of benefits, so obviously the one thing we've not talked about today is timing. So MTM is, as you said, predetermined time. So there's no stopwatches involved. There's no going out and measuring process. It's breaking down those components into the building blocks that have got the time assigned. So when people talk to you about the benefits, what are the kind of top three things where you see MTM adding the most value?
The top thing definitely is that you are able to simulate the process. That sounds not very fancy, but it's a matter of fact. You don't have to see a work system in order to apply an MTM analysis. You just need to understand the influencing factors, for example, the weights, the distances that you have to cover, and then you can can simulate a process. So you create transparency. Yeah, that's the thing that not everybody wants, but from a productivity point of view, it's fundamental. So that is the first thing. The second thing is standardization in my eyes. So you can implement a very clear and well-structured continuous improvement system based on our standards. So you are describing labor, and all these things are based on our standard performance, and so you get an international benchmark for human labor. And the third thing is based on these two things, transparency and standardization. It's a very solid investment or increase of cost planning, cost reduction, identifying improvement potentials, for example, by assessing the valuating and non-valuating elements in the process. So these are the main three topics that I would like to say that, or think that these are the benefits from them. And as you already mentioned, you do not have to use any stopwatch to determine the time. You can use these building block systems. You do not have to guess. You get specific and clear figures, and that's something that I really like, and I'm using it for my whole business life.
Perfect. And it's probably a miss. We should talk about AI. Everybody else is, so why shouldn't we? So where are you as the described you as the mothership before? So where are you in Germany in the central team and your colleagues and peers? Where are their heads at with AI and what potential benefits it'll bring to the application of MTM?
I will do that quickly. Let me start quickly with some thoughts. If we talk about digital work design in general, the problem or the challenge is there. It's if you use digital tools like simulation tools or mocap tools or VR systems or tools like this, there is challenges, and the main thing is that you cannot experience, you do not feel the process really. So using a stopwatch or to determine time in that early stage of a work system is difficult, because you don't know how, or often you don't know how heavy the parts are, how long the movements are. You do not have the routine in order to perform the work. You feel watched when you are wearing, for example, VR glasses. So all these things are in general a challenge for digital work design. And now AI comes into the game. And the idea of uploading, for example, a work description or a BOM or something to a large language model or a Gen AI model, and then hoping to get out or to receive an MTM analysis. All of that is possible. And we are working with that as well. As you said, Simon, we are the mothership, but also from a methodological point of view, we have to take care of the credibility of the system. So all these things that are described are possible, but there is an important step from our side. We want to use these technologies to identify, to interpret whatever motion data, wherever you get them from, even with AI. You can upload the video and then you get the motion stuff. But before you really come up with an MTM analysis, you must check the credibility of the data that were identified by all these digital tools. And then then we have developed an interface which is called MTM Motion, and this interface is available for free. It's just transferring the identified AI identified or simulation identified data into a valid MTM analysis. And with valid, I mean this algorithm, MTM Motion algorithm, is considering and obeying the MTM rules. So an MTM analysis must be correct, because then the time is correct. And this is what we do in AI. We upload, for example, a video, we interpret the video with these LLMs, large language models. We get out some information that was identified by artificial intelligence. But then before we turn it into an MTM analysis, we are using our algorithm to make it concise, consistent, and valid. And that's the approach that I would really introduce into the global MTM application for all our own MTM partners. And that's the big benefit, because we want to avoid discussions about wrong times, wrong processes. That's our approach. But it's working, and it's working properly.
Perfect. So yeah, I think there's, again, in my mind, there's lots of advantages as AI develops.
It is.
Quickly, clearly every day, but over the next kind of 12 to 18 months, there's going to be some huge opportunities, I think.
I fully agree. It makes us fast, but there is a challenge that we have to also keep in mind. We should use it. We must understand probably how it works, but we should use our brain when we see the results. And we cannot accept everything that is generated by AI. And that's why we came up with this consolidation approach with MTM Motion. And I think we have a good idea we have a good solution because the application in the field is really, people are interested in, especially if we turn videos into time. That works quite well. And then when you see the results, how an MTM analysis is generated out of a video that where a workplace or a work process is recorded, it's fascinating to see that. It gives you the opportunity to get faster to a time, but it's not the level of accuracy is not that well or that good at the moment, and therefore we have this interface, and we are going that way.
Perfect. Well, we'll pause there. It's always fascinating to chat, Peter, and find out more about MTM and where it's going, and obviously where it came from. If people want to reach out to you, where's the best place for them to find you?
I think the easiest way is to go to the website of Resync. But if you want to contact us directly, us as a network, it's mtm.org, and there you find us. That's the easiest thing. It was a pleasure, Simon, and thanks for the invitation.
No problem. Thanks, Peter. We'll speak soon.
Thanks, Simon.